Every farm had a bell. Jack Clark was the supervisor here on the farm. He would get up every morning around 4 o'clock and he would come ring the farm bell. And that would signal everyone on the farm that it was time to get up to get the day started. Now, while everyone else was getting ready, Jack went to the barn. He got everything prepared for that day's work, and as the workers showed up to the barn, he would distribute the work out. It all depended on what needed to be done. Maybe, if I came to the barn and he wanted me to plow something, he'd have a team of mules ready for me to plow. He'd tell me which field, and I would take that team and go to that particular field. And the reason they got up so early was the fact by the time everybody got to the barn, got their chores, and made it to the field, the sun was just beginning to come up, so no time was ever wasted. And they could get to the field and go straight to work. And then, of course, at dinner time, he would ring the bell again. That would signal it was time to come in. And then at the end of the day, it would be rung again. But bells were also used for emergency purposes as well. If something was, in danger, someone could come and ring the bell, as fast-paced to alert everyone that, attention was needed. Well, when the Carters moved to this farm in 1928, there was no running water or electricity on this farm. And so what they did for the first 7 years is they actually had a dug well that they would get their water from. But in 1935, his father purchased a windmill like this Challenge 27 right here, and had it put up, and that took a tremendous job off of someone. Can you imagine just the amount of water that we use each and every day, and every time you wanted water, you had to go hand crank it out of the ground. Well, once they put the windmill up, they let the wind do the work for them. And so that's made such an impression on a young Jimmy Carter that when he became president, he actually created the Department of Energy. And a lot of the wind farms that you see out in the Midwestern and Western states were started during Jimmy Carter's administration, but he knew there were alternative forms of energy. And he remembered how the wind aided them here on the farm when he was a young boy. Now, the tank on the windmill holds about 1,600 gallons of water. And so what the Carter family did, they run a pipe from that tank over to their house. So in 1935, they actually got indoor plumbing. They were able to put an indoor bathroom in because of that. But of course, the main purpose was to supply the water for the farm. Now, where they put the windmill was close enough to the house, but it's still a pretty good trek to the barn, so they still had to haul the water to the barn to water the animals. But years later on, they put another pump closer to the barn that was powered by a gasoline motor. But in 1935, they did put the windmill up, and that took a tremendous chore off of someone from having to hand crank water out of the ground. This is still a working well. The wind has to blow on an average of 8 miles per hour to turn the blades at the top. But I don't know if you can see it now, but there's a rod that goes through the center right there. As the wind turns the fan blade at the top, that rod goes up and down, creating a suction up under the ground, kind of like when we're drinking a Coke through a straw. And it pulls the water up and takes it to the tank and stores it in the